Action buttons and page navigators make it really easy for the report audience to move around your various reports and to move around your dashboards, etc., much like an application. So what I'd like to do is insert 4 more pages. I'm just going to hit the plus down the bottom here. This page I'm going to name median age. Click this button, double click it. This one's going to be life expectancy. New shape, double click. Income per person. New page, double click, and summary. So I've inserted 4 additional pages. Now I'm going to select this page called Dashboard, and what I want to do is insert a page navigator. So I go to Insert in the ribbon, and from here there's a button called Buttons. And from there I can go to Navigator, and what I'd like to do is insert a page navigator. Now the page navigator has appeared at the top here, and that may be exactly what I want. But I'm actually going to get into the Format task pane and start to change the look of it. The first thing I want to do on the Format pane under Visual is choose Grid Layout, because I really don't want this page navigator to be horizontal. I would prefer it to be vertical. So if I go to Grid Layout, I can change the orientation from horizontal to vertical, though I also have grid. If I have a look at grid, that's what it looks like, and I can control the number of rows and columns in my grid. But I actually want vertical, and so here's my vertical. Now I'm just going to resize it so you can see more clearly, and so you do have to sort of drag it and resize it, and I'm just going to pop it over here a little bit. It immediately picks up all the pages that you have created at the bottom of your screen, and the word summary appears twice, and that is because this page here should in fact be called population. So as soon as I update the name of a page and go back to my dashboard, I can see it's automatically updated it in the page navigator. So this is a really useful way of creating buttons that are going to remain up to date. Now I also want to change the padding, so I'm going to click on the navigator, I'm going to go to my grid layout, and I'm going to take the padding from 5 to 10. And so as I increase the padding, you can see the gap increase between each of the buttons, and as I decrease it, the gap gets smaller. So I'm going to take that to 10. I also want to resize it just in general, so I'll make it look more like this. I'm just going to move things over to accommodate it. And then I can put it up here a little bit and stretch it a little bit. Yeah. I do need to hold the Control key or the Shift key and select each of these images. And if I go to Format and I go to Align, I can distribute them horizontally to make sure that they're evenly placed on the page. Now what we should do is test that it actually works. So if I click on Population, it didn't actually take me to that page. But if I hold the Control key and click Population, then it takes me to the population page. Let me go back to the dashboard. If I click on life expectancy, it doesn't take me to the page, but if you hold the Control key, it will take you to the page called life expectancy. Of course, once you publish this report and make it available to others, they will just be able to click these buttons. But while you're in design mode, you actually have to hold the Control key and click a button to see that it's actually working. Now let's say that if I did click population, for example, Control click, and I go to population, I really need a back button to take me back to the dashboard. So let's insert another button. Insert buttons, and this time I'm just going to simply choose from this collection of buttons. I can have a left arrow, a right arrow, a reset, a back, an information, all sorts of different buttons. I'm just going to choose back. And there's my back button sitting in the top there. Now even when I rest on it, it says Control and click to go back to the previous page. I'm just going to drag this and put this on the right top corner of my page. That's where I prefer it to be. And I'm also going to go into the Format pane, and I want to actually format this button, and so I'm going to change the appearance of the button. So what we've got is when I click the button, I click on the format, I've got some button formatting options and some general options. If I go for button, I can do things like shapes, and I can make it rectangle, or I can make it a different sort of a shape. But I actually want to go into style, and I'm going to scroll down because a lot of the properties are actually hidden further down. And I'm going to go into icon, and the color of the icon, the line color is at the moment black, but I actually want to change the color to a sort of a blue. And so as I rest on these colors, it tells me the name of them. So I'm after 3257A8. So I click that option, and that basically is a blue look to my back button. So I can then collapse icon and scroll up and collapse style. So anything to do with formatting the look of the button will be on the button option on the format pane. And so now if I hold the control key, I should be able to go back to my dashboard. If I then go to control click population and I take a copy of this button, control C, I should be able to go to median age and go control V to paste it. Life expectancy, control V, home person, income per person, and summary. And so you can paste that back button onto each page. So if I control click income per person, I can then control click to go back. If I control click life expectancy, I can control click the back button to go back. So action buttons are a very useful way of navigating, as well as the actual page navigator.